Hello people, and welcome to another video of Programmer's Corner. In this video we'll take a look at how to use Rabin Karp algorithm to check whether a given array of substrings exists within a given string. So here we have our given string and here we have our array of substrings. So what we do in this case is we implement the Rabin Karp using two different ways. So let's take a look at the first way in which we implement it. Here the way we implemented this is as follows. So what we did was we took the first substring and then we took the substrings of the same length from this given string, from our main string I would say, and what we did was we took the hash of this and we took the hash of the same substring we took the hash of the substring from this given string, and then we compare whether the two hashes are the same. If they are not the same, then we just go to the next substring, but if they are the same, then we send our substrings into this comparator function, into this compare function, and that returns and it checks whether the given two substrings are equal. If they are, we just print the first index, we just print the index or the first index of that substring. So let's take a look at this. And also a quick brief note that the hash function I'm using in this is, I've made a video on it before and the link's in the description, so if you want to take a look at that hash function, please go take a look at it. And you can use any other hash functions if you want. You can use MD5, you can use bcrypt, it's up to you. I just decided to use the hash function here and that's what I'm using. So let's take a hash of this string. So the hash of this string in our case would be, I'm just taking some random number here. So we have this number, and now what we do is we take a substring of same length as this, which is here, and we take a substring of that same length. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have this A, B, D, C, C, that's our substring, and the hash of that, let's say, is something like that. So now as you can see, the hashes of these two are not the same. So what we do is we go to the next string. So what we get now is B, D, C, C, A. So in this case, the B, D, C, C, A hash would be, again, it's not the same. So what we do is we go to the next one. So we have DCCAB. So the hash of DCCAB in this case would be, so in this case would be that. So you can actually see that the hashes of these two, even though, like, if you can just see that these two numbers are different, but still the hashes of those two are also different. So again we move to the next one. We have CCABC. So if you look at CCABC, and the hash of this is that, and if you can see that again the hashes are two different things, the hashes are different. Then we have CABCA. So now we have CABCA, and the hashes of this in this case would be, is that. Again, it's not the same exact hash of this. Now comes our main one. So BABCAB. So let's say the hash of this, and if I do it, the hash would be this is the hash of the given substring. So as you can see, the hashes match. This 2 3 6 5 9 8 7 5 4 7, and if you look at the two substrings here, they also match. So what we do is we go to the compare function and we use an existing function of the string class, that is equals, and then we check whether the two substrings are the same. Now you can use a normal character dot at function as well, or string a dot char at I, and you can use a for loop and then just go through it, or you can use the existing libraries, like the existing functions in the string class, and you can just check whether the given two strings are equal or not. So it's up to you how you want to do it. So as you can see, what we do is now we print the value of j. So the value of j would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the value of j would be 5. So this substring exists at 0.5, at index 5 in this given string. So from index 5 we take, so this is the substring that we get. The same thing goes here. We have bc a bc, which is not the same as that. Then you have ca b ca, which is again not the same. We have abc ab, which again comes to the same hash, and thus we print again the index of a. In this case would be 8. This was 5, 6, 7 and 8. So on and so forth, and then you run along till you reach, let's say, not the end of the string, but the length of the string minus the length of this substring. You reach that end. So in this case it would be here abcba. Here the hash would be again different because here it's ab and here is ba. But let's assume that even the hash is the same, because there are cases where two different strings can have the same hash. In that case, the compare method will save you, because here it will show that, alright, even the hashes are the same, the two strings are not actually equal, so it's going to return false either way. Then what the program does, it goes to the next thing. So I, which was 0, now becomes 1, and we take the next substring, that is a and b. So what we do in a and b is we go to the same method, but instead of taking 5, now we only take 2. So we have the array, we have the hash of a and b, and then we have a hash of again a and b, which is going to be the same. Now again, two similar strings cannot have two different hashes. If that's the case, your hash function is not proper. Two different strings can have the same hash. Just keep that in mind. And here we have ab is the same exact, it will have the same exact hash because it's the same exact string, and we just print the index of a. And now we go to the next one. AB is not the same as BD, it's not going to have the same hash. AB is not the same as DC, it's not going to have the same hash. So on and so forth until you again reach this point here where you have A and B, which is the same as A and B. So it's going to have the same hash. Again the same thing with here. BC is not going to work, CA is not going to work. AB again is going to have the same hash. AB again is going to have the same hash. AB here, and that's it. This is the last one. So this substring, you basically found multiple hashes or multiple occurrences. So now we take a look at CA. So again the I is equal to 2, so we take this substring and then we find, alright, this is the substring here, this is a similar substring, this is a similar substring, this is a similar substring, and that's it. So we found that many, about 3 occurrence, 2, 3, 4 occurrence of the substring CA in this. And I'm pretty sure if you take a look at the hash function, if you find the hash of this in whatever hash function you want to use, if you take a hash of this and if you take a hash of this string, it's going to be the same because the strings are the same. Now I goes to 3 and we have CAB. So now we have to find whether the string CAB exists in this given substring. So now we take 3 substrings in here, and or 3 characters from here. So ABC, ABD will have a different hash from CAB, BDC will have a different hash, DCC will have a different hash, CCA will have a different hash, CAB will have the same hash as CAB. So in that case, you send it to the comparator, you check whether the given 2 strings are the same, and it will return true in this case because they are. We have ABC, not the same string, BCA, not the same string, not even the same hash might be same, the strings are not the same. Then we have CAB, in this case that would be this. So CAB would be will have the same hash because it's the same exact string, and then you just send it to the compare function and check whether they are the same strings. Then the same thing again goes here, CAB, CAB, and then that's it. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4 occurrences of CAB in this one. So that's how you probably want to use this first method, where you iterate through the entire list of substrings, and for each substring you iterate over to the entire string and take a substring out of that given string of the same length and take a hash of it, and then check whether the given hash is the same. If the given hash is the same, check whether the given string is the same. Even if the given hash is the same, the string can be different, and then your compare method will return false, thus avoiding any false positives. So now that's the first method. The second method which we are going to use to check whether a array of substrings exists within a given string is by using hash maps and hash sets. So what we do in this case is, first and foremost, we iterate through the array of substrings, and we take each substring and we get the hash of it. Once we get the hash of it, we store that hash into a hash map. So what we do is, we get the hash, we check whether the hash exists in a given string. If it does not exist in a given string, then we create a hash set for that particular hash. We add the string to that list, to that hash set, and then we add that hash set to the given hash map. We also keep track of the size of each of those strings. So let's say we have 15 substrings, out of which 10 of them are of the same size and 5 of them are of the same size. So we only have 2 sizes, but we still have 15 substrings. In this case, this iteration only does it twice. The for loop iteration in which we are going to compare, I'm going to compare this only twice. We are going to only run this twice instead of running it 15 different times. So I'll show you how it's done. So what we do in this case is, we take the first substring, we take the hash. Let's draw that thing up here. Let's draw this thing up here a bit, and as you can see, let's say this is my substring ABC AB, and the hash of that in this case would be, it's the other way around. So let's say 1000 is the hash. Let's say 10,000 is my hash, or I said 1000. So 1000 is the hash of the string. So it's gonna be ABC AB. So that's the hash right now of this particular function. So this is the hash map. This is my hash map right now. This is my hash set. This is the key, and this is the value associated to that key. Now we have one more. We have AB. So let the hash of AB be 200 in this case. So now we have A and B as our new hash in our new hash map. So this is the first key, this is the second key. Now we have CA, and the hash of that would be, let's say the hash clashes with the hash of this. So what happens here is, instead of we see that, alright, the hash of this is 200, so this contains this key. So 200 already is a key in here. There is already a hash of 200 in here. So what we do is, we get the string, we get the set, that's AB, and then we add CA into it. So now we have AB, CA into this hash function, and then we put this back into the 200 key, add this 200 key into the hash map. The same thing occurs with CAB. In this case, let's say CAB doesn't have a hash, so we have 800 as the hash, as the key for that, or we find the hash to be 800 CAB, and that's what we have. So this is our hash map, and you can see, instead of having one more iteration as we saw in the previous method, we now only have 3 iterations. So what we do now is we come to our mean. So we also have a set of integers of sizes. So the set would be as follows. The set would be 5, 2, 3. That's the set in this case. That is, these are the sizes of each of that hash map, or these are the sizes for how many substrings we have here. As I said before, if we have 15 substrings and 10 of them are of size 10 and 5 of them are of size 5, then we only iterate twice. We do not iterate more than that because there is no point. We iterate through the integers. So we take the 5, 2 and 3. So this SI now has 5 as its value. So what it does is it goes here and it takes set length and it subtracts 5 from there. So we only go up till this point. So 0, 1, 2, this length, we remove 5 from there, and this is the point where we stop. Well, actually it should be equal to that, but alright. So this is the point at which we would stop. We won't go beyond that. So we start with 0. Same thing. We take the substring from 0 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is up till here, because it doesn't take the last character. So we only A, B, D, C, C. We take the array. We take the hash of that. We get the hash of it, and then we check whether a hash map has a key, contains that hash value as the key. So the hash of this is none of these hashes. That means it's gonna say no, it doesn't contain. So we go to the next hash. So also we go to the next string. So we have B, C, B, D, C, C, A, B, D, C, C, A. We go here and then we say, alright, we get the hash of that string, and then we check, alright, is this hash a key in this given hash map? If that key or that hash does not exist in a given hash map, we move forward. Let's go here, B, D, C, C, A, B. Let's go to that. D, C, C, A. So now again it's the same thing. We get the hash. There is no hash. That hash is not part of this hash map. So we go to the next one until we reach this point where we have A, B, C, A, B. Now we get the hash, and that hash is 1000. Alright, because that thing contains in here. Now since it exists, we go here and then we do a compare string. So in this case, what we do with the compare is that we check whether this given string exists in this set. So as you can see, you can just do, so right here you can probably just do, right, let's see, you can just do s dot, or you can just do compare string s, and then we have r, and then we just say return s dot r dot contains s. If the string exists, it's going to return true. If it doesn't exist, it's going to return false. And that's it. If the flag is true, then you print the index. If the flag is false, you just go to the next hash. And as long as you go all the way up till here, you compare that. So if it doesn't contain, it's going to return false. If it contains, it's going to return true. Now we run through the same thing over here. So we have A, B, C, A, B. We found that position. We found that there is a match, and that string actually exists in there. So we just print the index of that. We keep on going until we find another of those matching hashes. In this case, A, B, C, A, B, where we again compare the hash of this. We check whether this hash exists within a given hash map. If it does, we go to we send this thing to the compare method. The compare then returns the checks whether this given string exists within that given set. If it does, it returns true. If it doesn't, it returns false, so on and so forth. Now we go to replace this phi with a 2. So now we go to the second one. Now we go to there is no more, like once we exhaust the string completely, we go to our second size, that is 2 in this case, and then we take 2 of the strings we take strings of size 2, that is AB, and then we check whether it exists. If it does exist, we just check whether that string, if the hash does exist, we check whether that string exists in that code, or sorry, in that set. So if the string exists in that set, we just return true, else we return false. The same thing goes here. So we have AB, we get the hash of AB, we send AB here, we get the hash of AB. Does the hash dot contains key AB, like is 200, this new hash is a key here? Yes, it is a key here. Then we go here and then we send in the substring, that is AB, this, and then we also send in this set in the function. So AB and CA, and then in the function we check whether R contains the given string. If it does, it returns 2, and then we just print the index. The same thing we go here. We have BD, we have DC, CC, CA, AB again, which it does, BC again, it does. Now let's say that we have CA, or we have, again we have, alright, so this is one more thing. We have AB which does that, then we have BD which does that, we have CD, yes, CC, yes, CA. Okay, this, now if you remember, AB and CA had the same hash, so now we get CA. Alright, the hash matches. We go here, it contains key, so it contains this. So it goes in here and it checks whether a given string, now it checks that R, which is AB and CA, contains the word CA, which it does, so it returns true. So from the last example which we did, it was, what we did was, we had to go through this twice, first for AB and then for CA. In this case, it goes with the size of the string, it goes with the length of the string. So what it does is, it just keeps on, it just catches two strings of the same length, and it just prints, and it just checks whether those two strings exist in a given substring, those two substrings exist in a given string or not. So this reduces one iteration less, so we don't have to again iterate for CA. So now we have AB again, which again does work, because now we have this new hash that exists, which is 200. So the new hash exists as a key. We compare whether the string exists, which it does exist, and then you print the file, and then you move on to BC. It doesn't exist, so we have CA again, which does exist, so it's again going to print this. It's going to have AB again, which does exist, and then we have BC, CA, so on and so forth. Now once we iterate through the whole thing, and once we're done with BA, which doesn't exist, we go to the last and the final one, that is 3. So this now becomes 3. So SI becomes 3, and we go from A all the way to C. And now we take the substrings of size 3. So we have ABD, which we get the hash. We check if the hash is a key in this given set, in a given map. It isn't, so we go to the next one, BDC. It isn't. DCC, it isn't. CCA, it isn't. CAB, it is. So the hash of this is 800. We check whether it contains the key 800, which it does, and then what we do is we send the substring, and then we send the hash map in that given compare method. We check whether this hash set, not hash map, or hash set, whether this hash set contains this word, which is CAB. It does, so it returns true, and then we print everything. And we do this until the end. So we have CAB here, then we have ABC here. Let's say if we had another method here, let's say we had another string here called CAB, it would also work because, sorry, we have ABC, it would also work because now they are of the same method. It's just going to be another key here, let's say 700, and then CA and then ABC. So again, like, that's how it works. So if they are of the same length, all you need, it's gonna catch automatically. If they are of different length, it has to go through iterations. So if all of these substrings are of the same length, we just need one for loop. That's it, to check whether a given key, a given string exists within a given given hash map, and if it exists, if the key is there, then we just check whether a given string is part of that key's object or value. So in this case, we have the value is the set, so whether a given string is part of that set for that given key. So we iterate through CAB, which we there, ABC is not there, BCA again is not there, CAB is there, then again two of them are not there, then again we have CAB, and then we check CBA, and then we stop because we have already iterated through the whole string. So this was the second example for this given substring. So to find whether a given set of substrings or a given array of substrings exists within this given string. So again, if you like this video, please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you think there are any other ways of actually implementing this or improving this. Please do let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.